Okay, hello everyone. So now we are here in our online class already. It's our first time to conduct this online class. So in this subject, science, technology, and society. So since we are required to conduct online class to finish our course requirement. So to begin with, so we are now in chapter 3, specific issues in science, technology, and society. So by the way, so kumusta na muna kayong lahat? So sana ay okay naman, ano? So kahit pa paano tayo ay safe. And pasensya na dun sa aking audio background kasi alam niyo na, nasa bukid. So maraming tumitilaok na manok. Okay, so pagpasensyahan nyo na muna. Okay, so now we are in lesson 2 with our biodiversity and the healthy society. So but before I proceed with the discussion, so ano muna yung meron dito kay biodiversity and the healthy society? So first we have the meaning of biodiversity. So we will be discussing its meaning and the importance to human life. Ano yung kahalagahan, paano tayo nagiging dependent dito sa ating tinatawag na biodiversity and as well as the cultural pathways. Paano tayo nagiging dependent. Next is for the genetically modified organism or GMO. So alamin natin ano din yung meaning ng ating GMO and its applications as well as the risk and controversy. So nabanggit na yung genetically modified organism, so nandyan na rin yung ating risk also with our genetic engineering. Okay, so that would be our course outline. So to start with, so we have here first our introduction for the meaning for biodiversity. So biodiversity or biological diversity is a term that describes the variety of living beings on Earth. So it is said that it is the variety of living beings on Earth. Nandiyan na yung ating different examples ng living things, living beings on Earth. Nandiyan na rin yung pagkakaiba-iba natin or yung pagkakasama-sama nila sa iisang lugar. So that is considered as biodiversity. Next, what would be the difference of biodiversity with ecosystem? So ecosystem kasi natin, it is the relationship of all living things in a specific area. So that is ecosystem. Nakafocus lang siya to the specific area. Wherein yung ating biodiversity kasi it encompasses ecosystem. So parang si ecosystem is under lang siya ng ating tinatawag na biodiversity. So nakalagay naman dyan, it encompasses microorganism, plants and animals, and ecosystems such as coral reefs, forests, rainforest, desert, and many more. So it also refers to the number or abundance of different species living within a particular region. So number or abundance. So nandyan na yung ating bilang. So mako-consider lang natin siyang biodiversity kung nandun yung abundance sa isang lugar. But today, alam naman natin marami na tayong living things or living beings that is considered uh, endangered. So nandun na yung extinction. So yun lang yung nakakalungkot. But hindi naman sa lahat ng lugar, so nandun pa rin yung ating abundance, lalo na dito sa Philippines. Next is, it is all about sustaining the natural area made up of the community of plants, animals, and all other living beings. So paano natin dapat siya sinusustain? Or at this time, siya ba ay nasusustain pa or hindi na? Kasi sabi naman dyan, it is being reduced or begin to be reduced because of human activities. So nakakalungkot kasi dapat yung yaman ng ating diversity is nasusustain pero the reality is hindi kasi it is being reduced because of different human activities at saka yung kanilang habitat destruction. So kaya sila nauubos or tuluyang umaalis dun sa kanilang tirahan because of human activities. So what is the importance of biodiversity? So biodiversity includes organisms from the Earth's vastly different ecosystem including deserts, rainforests, coral reefs, grasslands, tundra, and polar ice caps. So, vastly different ecosystem. Pinagsama-sama natin yung ecosystem natin na nasa desert, nasa rainforest, nasa coral reef, nasa grassland. Grassland is land covered with grasses. So, kaya nga siya tinawag na grassland. Yung tundra naman natin is a large area of flat land in northern parts of the world where there are no trees and ground is always frozen. So, yun yung tinatawag nating tundra and similar with polar ice caps. So, the rich biodiversity of our environment are greatly evident and manifested by the following characteristics, so which can be considered a healthy environment and sustainable to support the needs of the Filipinos. So, we have numerous functions or importance of biodiversities in human life. So, alam naman natin yan kung ano yung ating nagiging dependency sa kanila. And there is where we get our food, our source of shelter, and many more. So, ganun tayo nagiging dependent. So, the role of biodiversity in the following areas will help make clear the importance of biodiversity in human life. So, for example, clearing land for agricultural or residential purposes can bring people into closer contact with wildlife that may transmit diseases to humans and also promote the spread of disease from humans to animals. So ito na yung isa sa kino-consider natin na risk kasi dun sa clearing land for agricultural or residential purposes, hindi lang natin nadidistract kung ano yung kanilang ecosystem na meron sa isang lugar, but also we are also uh, destructing their habitat, yung real habitat nila. Kaya napakahalaga nitong unang statement na ito kasi sinasabi dyan, we have the closer contact with the wildlife. So masyado na tayong lumalapit sa kanila, masyado na natin silang ini-invade. Kaya sabi dyan, that may transmit diseases to humans. So alam natin, kaya tayo nasa ganitong sitwasyon ngayon, kasi we are now facing pandemic brought by COVID-19. So this also a disease to humans. So yun yung spread of disease from humans to animals. So paano nga ba nag-transmit? For example, si COVID-19, paano ba siya nag-transmit from humans, from animals, rather animals to human? So nandun na rin yung pagkakamali ng ating mga human activities. So in addition, clearing of land may bring out the loss of plants and all other organisms useful in medical research or that may contain substances used as medicine. Sa hindi lang about dun sa ating mga animals, nandyan din yung ating loss of plants and other organisms. Na sa halip na magagamit natin siya in terms of medical research, so wala na tayong masyadong mapag-aralan, yung mga scientists natin, wala na masyadong makonduct na research kasi yung mga halaman or trees na important para sa atin ay nauubos. So it has been estimated that approximately 80% of the world's population from developing countries rely mainly on traditional medicine. So kahit tayo ay may mga readily available na drugs or medicines for cure sa different diseases, so syempre marami pa rin sa atin ang nagre-rely doon sa traditional medicines, lalo na yung mga nandoon sa provinces. So 25% of prescriptions dispensed in United States pharmacies contain plant extracts or active ingredients derived from plants. Kahit naman yung mga nabibili nating gamot, so yan ay may mga plant or medicinal extraction din na ginagawa dun sa ating mga plants. So kung talagang patuloy na mawawala yung ating yung abundance ng ating plants at saka ng other organisms, so nandun na yung ating maaaring kaharapin na risk in terms of that. Next, furthermore, humans have attached cultural importance to biodiversity for thousands of years over and above its utilitarian value as food sources of material or labor. So, for example, lions feature in the crest of the British monarchy. People are highly revered in several religions, and the resplendent quetzal is a bird of legend in Guatemala. So, nandito na yung cultural pathways natin. Kasi pagka sa animals, so before kasi, ginagamit nila yung mga examples ng animals as a symbol, or it symbolizes different meanings on them. So for doon sa mga uh, several religions, so nandiyan na rin yung ating mga legend na ginagamit nila yung certain, for example, the lion, yan, birds. So ginagamit nila yan as a symbol para sa kanila. So some will gain pleasure from remote vicarious experiences such as through nature documentaries, whereas others prepare more direct encounters. Another, for example, participation in the Great Backyard Bird Count, a joint project of the Audubon Society and the Cornell Lab of Ornithology, increased from 52,000 participants in 2005 to more than 136,000 in 2013. So that is in 2013 pa. So we are now in 2020. So siguro dito sa tinatawag nilang Great Backyard Bird Count, so baka hindi na lang 136,000 ang kanilang participants. So ano ba yung Great Backyard Bird Count? So kapag nag-participate ka dito, so syempre on your own area sa bahay, so magkakaroon ng backyard bird counting. So sasali ka doon para alamin ano yung mga species na meron kayo sa inyong area. So bibilangin. So I don't think lang kung paano pagbibilang yung ginagawa nila doon. Next is for the current estimates of biodiversity's loss place species extinction rates at 100 to 1,000 times the natural rate, far higher than one would expect from background predictions. So we have the potential importance of cultural pathways for human health. So evidence from other aspects of human health research suggests that biodiversity loss might impact upon health via cultural pathways. So ginagamit kasi natin siya lalo na dun sa cultural pathways natin. Ang number one example na dyan is yung paggamit natin as medical treatments. So provide a good illustration of this, the amount of color medication taken can affect reported health outcomes for both chemically active and placebo drugs. So dito kasi yung color medication, so malaki yung impact na ginagamit before kasi yung tablet color natin so can affect our resolve in taking medication and reported health outcomes. So doon kasi sa yung color medication natin na tinatawag in western societies, so sa kanila blue tablets are more effective as depressant. So bakit blue? Kasi ang blue it culturally associated in the west with calm and quietness. So kaya blue yung ginagamit nila na color ng kanilang tablet or ng kanilang medicine kasi for the depressed or as depressant, so ginagamit nila yon for o yung blue ay nagre-represent for calm and quietness. Kaya more on pagka-depressant ang gamot ay usually kulay blue ang ginagamit. And the other one is the red. So have greater efficacy as stimulants because of the color red is culturally associated with energy and excitement. So nandun naman tayo sa red na ginagamit siya kasi ang red nagre-represent siya for energy and excitement. Okay? So that is for the medical treatments. So note that such cultural meanings display geographical and temporal variations. So hindi lang naman laging applicable sa lahat. Although in the Western societies, so sa kanila, ang blue ay calm and quietness ang nire-represent. So in ancient times, blue dye o yung kulay blue na dye nila was used extensively as war paint by the Celts before battle. So hindi sa kanila calm and quietness ang meaning ng blue. Sa ancient times, ginagamit nila yung blue o yung blue dye as their war paint. So hindi applicable o kaya nga sinasabi dyan, displayed the geographical and temporal variation. Secondly, there is evidence that mental health is negatively affected by awareness of environmental degradation. So similarly, flooding has been strongly associated with elevated rates of depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress disorder. So nandyan din yung ating effect to the mental health ng ating environment, Specifically, nandiyan naman kasi yung biodiversity natin wherein yung pagka-experience natin ng kagaya niyan, flooding, yung mga storm, earthquakes. So yan, nakaka-effect yan sa tao through depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress disorder. Wherein, yun naman mga yon, yung mga calamities na yun naman is natural. So hindi naman siya, although may effect pa rin na somehow kung bakit siya nangyayari ay dahil din sa human activities. So thirdly, numerous studies provide evidence of mental and physical health being positively affected by contact with natural spaces. So those who spend more time in natural spaces report fewer health problems, increased feelings of general health, lower levels of stress, and faster recovery times from illness. Kaya nga dun sa ating mga stress, parang mas gusto nila ng mas may direct encounter into the natural spaces or dun sa ating environment. At saka tayo na nandito sa mga provinces. So mas mas mababa ang stress compared sa Manila kasi sa Manila wala ka namang makikita kundi as yung mga traffic doon, sasakyan, malalaking buildings, yung air doon is contaminated. So here in provinces, so doon talaga natin na encounter yung natural spaces kung saan nakakaalanghap tayo ng mas fresh na hangin. So para makatulong yon, yung nakikita natin na ganda ng mga different sceneries natin dito ay nakakatulong para mapababa yung ating stress and faster recovery for illnesses. Next, proceed tayo with GMO or genetically modified organisms, science, health, and politics. So genetically modified organisms or GMOs are any living thing that has had its genetic material altered in some way through human scientific interference. So nandyan na yung ating sa GMO natin na tinatawag. So any living things that undergoes alteration of genetic material. So wherein the segments of DNA are spliced, rearranged, or removed altogether. So may binabago na tayo in terms of the genes or the genetic material ng isang organism. It is commonly used for agricultural plants. So one of the most frequently cited examples for GMO. So some benefits of genetic engineering in agriculture are increased crop yields, reduced cost of food or drug production, reduced need for pesticides, enhanced nutrient composition and food quality, resistance to pests and disease, greater food security, and medical benefits to the world's growing population. So siya ay commonly talagang ginagamit in terms of agricultural plants. So wherein para ma-increase yung production, so i-alter natin ng genes ng isang specific plant. So babaguhin natin 'yon para lang, 'di ba, sa plant naman meron tayong seasonal. Yung season lang siya mamumunga, mamumulaklak, pero through the use of genetically modified organism, pwede na natin baguhin 'yon. Na hindi na lang siya per season. Per season siya mag-reproduce. So para siya ay all throughout the year ay siya ay namumunga. As well as for the what we call this, yung ating increase ng crop yields tsaka yung ating food quality. So para mas mapaganda yung bunga ng isang certain na halaman or ng isang puno. So that is the use of our genetically modified organism. Next, a number of animals have also been genetically engineered to increase yield and decrease susceptibility to disease. So nabanggit din kanina, para yung mga halaman natin ay hindi masyadong dapuan ng peste. So may nilalagay sila o may ina-alter sila in terms ng genes ng isang halaman o ng isang puno para hindi or makaiwas dun sa mga pest. And para dun sa iba't ibang sakit na maaaring makuha ng halaman or ng puno na kung hindi naman siya mapepeste, syempre makaka-affect din yun sa reproduction at saka dun sa food quality. So in 1986, human growth hormone was the first protein pharmaceutical made in plants, and in 1989, the first antibody was produced. So that an antibody. So naririnig na natin yung antibody na yan. So in COVID-19, so yun yung sinasabi nila na isa sa possible na gamot, yung ating antibodies. So, potential GMO applications. So, many industries stand to benefit from additional GMO research. So, for instance, a number of microorganisms are being considered as future clean fuel producers and biodegraders. So, aside from agricultural plant, yung ating microorganism, so pwede din silang magamit as a future clean fuel. So nandiyan na yung ating mga fossil fuels na tinatawag. So genetically modified plants may someday be used to produce recombinant vaccines. So dyan nakakakuha na rin tayo dun sa mga plants natin, yung mga genetically modified plants para sa different vaccines. So kasama dyan yung example natin. So plant-derived vaccine candidates in potatoes and lettuce for hepatitis B virus and for the enterotoxigenic Escherichia coli or ETEC and Norwalk virus. So I think itong si ETEC is for the virus or disease na related sa ating stomach. So, by that, nakikita nila na meron tayong candidates in potatoes and lettuce para makakuha tayo ng vaccine para dyan sa mga sakit na yan. Scientists also looking into the production of some other commercially valuable proteins in plants, such as spider silk protein and polymers that are used in surgery or tissue replacement. And then, genetically modified animals have been even been used to grow transplant tissues and human transplants. So hindi na lang sa limited sa plants and microorganisms. So meron na rin tayong genetically modified animals wherein parang experiment na yon na ginagawa nila para makapag-grow ng transplant tissues at magamit for human transplant na din. So we have risks and controversies surrounding the use of GMO. So despite the fact that the genes being transferred occur naturally in other species, there are unknown consequences to altering the natural state of an organism through foreign gene expression. So potential health risks to humans include the possibility of exposure to new allergens in genetically modified foods, as well as the transfer of antibiotic-resistant genes to gut flora. So, hindi na natin maiiwasan. So, napakarami nilang pag-aaral na ginagawa. Maraming alteration na sa hindi lang sa atin, sa tao. So, nandyan na rin yung pag-alter nila sa genes ng halaman, ng hayop, or different organisms. So, horizontal gene transfer to pesticide, herbicide, or antibiotic resistance to some other organism would not only put humans to risk, but it would also cause ecological imbalances, allowing previously innocuous plants to grow uncontrolled, thus promoting the spread of disease among both plants and animals. So, napakagandang example na kung bakit tayo ngayon ay naka-home quarantine is because for the spread of that specific coronavirus which started in Wuhan, China. So, according to them, may mga nagsasabi na nanggaling sa animal, sa bat, sa camel, or sa cat, yung sakit or yung virus na na-transmit directly to humans. So, siguro, hindi natin masasabi, baka may ginagawa sila mga pag-aaral wherein they have tried yung certain pag-aaral, tinesting sa hayop, and hindi naman nila ine-expect na yung kanilang ginawang experiment sa hayop, yung certain virus na yon ay kayang matransmit pala sa tao. So siguro yun lang yung hindi nila nakita at hindi in-expect na ganun yung nagiging kabilis yung pag-transmit or paglaganap, hindi na lang sa kanilang bansa kundi nakaabot na sa iba pang mga bansa at isa tayo sa naapektuhan ngayon. So in contrast, the alarming consequences of vertical gene transfer between GMOs and their wild-type counterparts have been highlighted by studying transgenic fish released into wild population of the same species. Kasi, lalo na ngayon doon sa mga nabibili natin na isda or fish sa mga palengke, so marami na doon yung under the genetically modified organism. For example, in tilapia or in bangus. So para lang ma-reproduce yung reproduction nila. So, hindi na natural way. So, meron na silang minomodify doon para mas marami yung reproduction, marami silang ma-harvest, at mas mapabilis yung pag-harvest. So, once kasi ang isang transgenic fish na tinatawag o yung na-modify na ay inihalo mo dun sa mga normal or natural na fishes, so maaaring ma-transmit na niya doon kung ano yung alteration na meron siya sa genes. So thus, when a new transgene is introduced into wild fish population, it propagates and may eventually threaten the viability of both the wild type and the genetically modified organism. So mas mabilis yung pag-transmit. Next is for the GMO risk. So the first risk of genetic engineering is the very theory underlying its science and methods, so which was brought to light by the United States of National Human Genome Research Institute. So the Human Genome Research Project discovered that genes operate in a complex network in ways that are still not fully understood. So the human genome has just under 25,000 genes, yet our bodies function with approximately 100,000 proteins. So ang human genome daw natin is just under 25,000 genes lang. Pero yung ating body function with approximately 100,000 proteins. So for 25,000 genes natin, nagre-release yun kasi ng different proteins sa ating body. Ngayon, ang limited lang is 100,000 proteins dapat yung ma-accept ng ating body para siya ay makapag-function. Pero kung yung 25,000 genes natin ay nag-release ng more than one or more than the normal na dapat i-release na protein, so maaaring lumampas dun sa 100,000 proteins at yun yung delikado para sa atin. And a genome is a complex ecosystem that is greatly influenced by the environment. So each gene of genome makes many proteins according to environmental cues. So each genome. So dun sa kada genome natin, yun na yung sinasabi natin na hindi lang siya ganun kadami yung nare-release na protein. So maaaring mas marami pa doon. So the fact that the genetic code can simultaneously write two kinds of information means that many DNA changes that appear to alter protein sequences may actually cause disease by disrupting gene control programs or even both mechanisms simultaneously. So gene modification is not scientific, precise, or predictable. So yun yung derive nila dun sa sinabing research kanina. So it is not scientific, precise, or predictable. So kasi yan naman ay experiment, yung genetically modified organism. So although nag-succeed sila dun sa mga unang trials nila, hindi natin masasabi na yun at talaga ay successful na. So wherein nakikita pa lang nila yung mga risk dun sa kanilang ginawang experiment sa paghaba pa ng panahon, hindi yun agad-agad. So even the scientist now learns that any gene can give more than one protein and that inserting a gene anywhere in a plant eventually creates a rogue protein. So nandun na tayo sa given na 25,000 genes lang. So kung dadagdagan pa, mag-i-insert pa na mag-i-insert na maraming genes knowing that yung isang gene pala ay maraming inilalabas na protein. So it creates a rogue protein. So, hindi na siya maganda. So, some of these proteins are obviously allergenic or toxic para sa katawan. So, to put it simply, the Human Genome Research Project completely undermined the science behind genetic engineering. The whole paradigm of genetic engineering technology was based on a misunderstanding. So the big AG corporation claims about their methods of genetically modifying food crops being specific, precise, and predictable are entirely untrue. Kasi pagka dyan naman sa mga company, sa mga corporation, lalo na dun sa mga nagre-release ng mga GMO products, so syempre, i-claim nila na specific, precise, and predictable yung mga ginagawa nilang mga studies or experiment. Wherein, hindi naman nila sasabihin na yun pala ay under experiment pa. Wala pa talaga napapatunayan at ginagawa pang testing yung pag-consume ng mga tao. So, meaning, pagka nagkaroon ng problem sa pag-consume ng tao, saka lang mapapatunayan na meron palang risk na makukuha doon. So Barry Commoner summarizes it like this in that same article: biotechnology companies are not in the habit of publicizing studies that question the efficacy of their miraculous product. So that is according kay Barry Commoner. Next is the risk of genetic engineering. So the outward risk of genetically engineered foods fall into three categories. So nandyan yung risk natin ng genetic engineering. So we have first for the environmental, for the human health risk, and then economic. So dun muna tayo sa environmental. So napakalinaw naman in terms ng environmental hazard natin. So nandiyan na yung toxicity is a huge issue surrounding chemical pesticides and herbicides. So nandiyan na yung pag-consume kasi natin dun sa mga GMO products, kinakain o directly ini-intake natin yan sa katawan. Ngayon, gano'n na meron palang masama or risk dun sa mga genetically modified organism. And nakaka-affect din siya dun sa ating other dependent dun sa isang ecosystem, for example the bees. So they are hugely important in the pollination of many food crops. Kung siya ay dadapo doon yung isang bee doon sa mga genetically modified plants, so maaaring magkaroon siya ng effect doon sa mga bees natin kasi doon sila kumukuha ng kanilang pagkain. So monarch butterflies are specifically at risk from GMO maize plants. Kasi yung nakukuhang nectar, for example, ng mga butterflies or bees, dun sa GMO plants ay hindi na yun 100% natural. So, ibig sabihin, yun ay composed of chemicals na may alteration na wherein pagka directly na intake nitong mga butterflies at saka bees na ito ay maaari silang ma-expose sa risk. At pag sila ay naubos or namatay, so wala na tayong agents for the pollination. Wala na makakapag-transfer ng iba't ibang uh, specific organism doon. Next, it is not impossible for new human-modified plants to become invasive species in delicate natural ecosystem. So finally, biodiversity, while it is critical in all ecosystem and to the sustainability of all species, is put at risk by GMO. So when GM crops are planted generally in a monocrop fashion, many heritage seeds are no longer used. Kasi kung dun sa mga natural natin na marami nang nabibili na GM crops na available sa atin, so hindi na siya itatangkilikin yung ating mga heritage seed. So the nature of GMOs means fewer weed flowers and therefore less nectar for pollinators. So that is with the environmental risk. So now we are be proceeding with the human health risk. So sa human health naman. So the first study done in the UK indicates a potential release of genetically altered DNA in human digestive tract. So a second study done in China in early 2012 was much more sobering. So it showed that ingested plant microRNA or yung ating ribonucleic acid such as the genetically modified bits containing BT not only survive digestion but most definitely influence human cell function. So yun yung sa ating mga genetically modified organism. So kung meron tayong in-intake na GMO product, so hindi pala niya naso-survive yung mga in-insert doon na chemical ay hindi naso-survive yung digestion natin. So this means that DNA can code for microRNA which can in fact be hazardous, having been linked for 10 years to human diseases including cancer, Alzheimer's, and diabetes. So yun yung mga maaari nating makuha kung patuloy tayo mag-i-intake ng mga GMO products. So nandiyan na si cancer, si Alzheimer's, at saka si diabetes. So the most recent study done at the University of Canterbury in New Zealand reinforces the altered gene survive digestion theory. So in this study, they found that the double-stranded RNA present in genetically engineered wheat were able to withstand digestion. So even after cooking and circulate through the body. So nandiyan na yung mga double-stranded pang tinatawag na RNA. So ang example nila dito is nandun siya dun sa tinatawag na genetically engineered na wheat So ginagamit yun sa pagluluto or sa certain product like bread. So sabi doon, hindi pala siya nakaka-withstand doon sa digestion. Ibig sabihin, hindi siya nadadigest. Kahit after cooking, hindi pa rin siya nawawala. At anong nangyayari? Nagse-circulate lang siya doon sa ating body once na yun ay na-intake natin. So these studies indicate that the food we eat transfer more than just vitamins and protein to our cells. Hindi lang siya uh, restricted dun sa vitamins and protein. So our bodies are absorbing information, aka microRNA. So what's the purpose of microRNA? So they usually function by turning down or shutting down certain genes. So kung marami tayong microRNA na nai-intake sa ating bodies through dun sa ating mga genetically modified products, so yung pagdami ng microRNA, ang ginagawa pala niya, it shut down or turn down certain genes. May pinapatay siya ng genes sa ating katawan. Kung maraming genes ang i-shutdown sa ating katawan, then possibly marami na tayong makukuha na sakit. Marami na tayong makukuhang infections sa ating katawan o yung ating tinatawag na for example, for the cancer, Alzheimer's, or diabetes. Next is for the economic concern. More than 60% of all deaths in the US as well as in other countries are from diseases linked to unhealthful saturated fat and a cholesterol-laden diet, heart disease, cancer, stroke, liver disease, and high blood pressure. So yun yung in terms ng economic concern, kung bakit maraming namamatay na tao. So the annual medical cost of obesity reached 147 billion US dollars in 2008. So ganun kalaki yung nakukonsume natin in medical costs. So the Medicare and Medicaid spending for obesity-related condition now totals 61 billion US dollars per year. And for the heart disease naman, it costs 189.4 billion US dollar per year, and the cost expected to triple by 2030. Meaning lang dito sinasabi na yung ating nakukuhang sakit through that genetically modified organism, so kasi kung intake tayo ng intake niyan, maraming protein na pumapasok sa katawan natin, re-result yan dun sa tinatawag natin na saturated fat and na cholesterol-laden diet. So, masyado tayong tumataba. So, ngayon, marami tayong nakukuhang sakit. So, ngayon, nakalagay naman dyan kung magkano yung mga reported amount, kung magkano yung nagagastos every year. So, as a result, farmers in the US who agreed to a better future GMO crops and sign contracts with Monsanto must pay royalty fees, licensing fees, and trade fees in addition to the higher cost of GMO since they are then required to plant on their farm. Nakakalungkot kasi from those farmers in the United States, so meron ng kasing na-establish sila, which is yung tinatawag nilang better future through GMO crops, wherein hindi pa naman pala ganun ka-successful yung study in terms of GMO. So yung mga farmers na yon, lahat ng itinatanim nila is genetically modified organism. At syempre sa mga nagiging reproduction nun, yung mga nagiging result, so yun ay ibinebenta sa market at nakukonsume directly ng mga tao. So farmers are required to buy fresh seed every single year. So yun yung ginawa nila, ni-require na mag-buy ng fresh seed, and new laws against seed cleaning business are causing these services providers to go out of their business. Okay, so that ends our presentation. So dito lang in terms of biodiversity and the healthy society. So in terms of biodiversity, we have many contributions or applications na nakukuha, but still with this nung lumabas na si genetically modified organism or si genetic engineering, so nandun naman yung reliability natin, yung naiitulong para sa atin to our health, doon sa ating pagdali doon sa reproduction ng mga pagkain para makonsume natin, pero kaakibat pa rin noon yung danger or the risk and other controversies na nakasurround na hindi natin nakikita minsan na nakakaapekto na directly sa atin at nakakapag-cause pa minsan ng mas worst scenario kagaya ng na-experience natin ngayon through this pandemic. So nakakalungkot lang. So sana ma-handle natin ng tama kung paano yung paggamit natin dun sa ating biodiversity as well as dun sa tamang paggamit ng mga genetically modified organisms. Okay? So if you have questions or inquiries with this topic, so pwede naman kayo mag-leave ng comment doon sa ating Google Classroom. So I will provide there a certain chat conversation para doon sa inyong mga inquiries at saka question. So that would be all. So thank you for listening.